It's James and Amanda, and I would like to welcome you to Kate's Kitchen Party. Today, our table is set up at the Aquarium in Brockville in the Lighthouse Theater, so we're very lucky to be here amongst the sea creatures and the fish, and it's a very cool backdrop. So welcome to the table. I'd love a chance for you guys to introduce yourselves. So who wants to go first? Crickets.
Okay. My name's Amanda Keeley, and I live in Brockville. Not from Brockville, but I've been in this area now for, oh my gosh, since like 2012. And just love it here. I love the community. And when we first moved to the area, I was very much steeped in my health and wellness business, Reiki, yoga, wellness retreats. And then really started to get into the music again. And so now I've kind of gone out of the wellness and now really steeped in the music. And my husband, Mark Lloyd, and myself, we are basically just doing everything. We eat, sleep, and breathe music now. So
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very,
you're
very
pursuing your
fortunate.
passion. Yeah, that's awesome. Which very much is in line with health and wellness.
Yes,
Let's be real.
it is. I mean,
Yeah.
my slogan is music for the heart and soul. So it's very much in alignment with the healing aspect for sure.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So,
And James.
hi, my name is James King, and I am from the area. I'm from North Augusta. I do live in Brockville now. And I've been doing music a long time, since I was about 15. My dad is a very musical person, so I kind of grew up in a musical family, and
That's so nice.
yeah, it was awesome. And when I was here before, I moved to Toronto for 10 years to try and, I don't know, do whatever up there. And yeah, I moved back here in the pandemic, and it's been awesome. And I kind of didn't really get into doing music kind of, I guess, full time or, as a huge part of my life until I was up there.
Yeah.
So it was fun to come back here in about 2021 and start doing music in this area and discover the music in this area and meet amazing friends and like-minded musicians and people. And just, I've been blown away by the community that exists here. The
arts community here is insane.
It's wild.
It's so crazy.
And it's great. And I've been doing that, and it just keeps kind of rolling along. And there's so many places playing outside of town, and wherever people want music, and it's just awesome.
That's where you are. Yeah. And it's funny because a lot of people leave home. Like they leave for the big city, right? You see it a lot in the States too. They always go to LA or New York, or here you go to Toronto, or a lot of people I've seen go to Ottawa too, because it's, a bigger city that's nearby to pursue music.
Yep.
And you having experience, like, being away and trying to do music and then coming back to a small town doing music, like, what's the difference? Like, how is that a different experience?
It's
like,
it's
I say night and day.
huge.
Yeah.
It's like night and day. Like, I found, I personally never really loved Toronto as a city itself. Like, people that I met there and places, and I had a lot of fun. Like, I'm not saying I don't regret living there. I think it was good for me to have done that. I think I needed to do that for myself, but it's a very competitive place, as you could imagine, and there's just so many more people, and it's a very oversaturated place. And I often find it's very hard to find people that are willing to pay artists properly, because there's so many artists there, and people who are really willing to work for free and willing to do, because you just so badly want to get your music out there, because you do, and you
that makes me really sad.
Yeah, it's exhausting after a while. Like, I was there for 10 years, and I would say I only really got into doing music with a band for the last 5. But after 5 years of doing it, like, I was so burnt out, because I'm working like 3 other jobs on top of it, just to still being broke all the time and not having much money. Excuse me. But and so it can be kind of a bit of I hesitate to use that word, but insidious place sometimes. Like, there's a lot of competition and people who are really not supportive of each other. But there's also incredible ones who are. It's, and like there's good and bad and
You have
everything.
to plug into your pockets.
You have to plug into your
community.
pockets, but it's hard. And it is still, interestingly enough, a small enough kind of music community. You do kind of get to know people around, like in the same circles, but it's like, but then there's like, you get to know the circles, but there's like this circle and there's that circle, and it's just a lot. So I guess the biggest difference I found since I moved back, I had no idea that there really was this much of a music community here, but there is, and it's so supportive and really is a community.
Yeah.
It feels like just everyone has each other's backs and everyone just wants each other to do well. And there is such a market for it. People want live music. They love live music around here. And there's just, for me personally, it seems that there's sort of a more peaceful and almost kind of centered, if that makes sense, aspect of the music world here that we're in there. It's a real community. It's a real community. You feel supported and loved. That's, I guess, the biggest difference for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that, Amanda, you do like live from the mic from your house. Or that's wild. You just open the doors, come on in.
Yeah, it's kind of like kitchen party.
Right?
It's very much the same vibe, yep.
Except that I'm not opening the front door to my house. That's wild to me. But I haven't been yet because usually I'm ready for bed by about 7 p.m. and the kids. But my husband is gone, and when he came back, he's like, oh my gosh, Kate, you have to go one night, because it's like, the word that he used was magical. Aww. He said it was there's something that happens in that living room and it just kind of like washes over you.
It is magical.
Yeah, there's something very magical about it. And I think the feeling that he was recognizing was that community, right? Where it's people stepping up and expressing themselves. And I know the last show that we were at, I had mentioned that there is a certain level of vulnerability or intimacy that happens in these like smaller shows. Yeah. And it's something that I've heard larger, like, who was it? I think it was Dave Grohl. I was listening to an interview with Dave Grohl, and he talked about how they'll do these tiny little pop-up sessions with fans. They'll just like show up at somebody's house and play in their garage or whatever, just for their families, because those things, it's that feeling that they try to hold on to when they go to an arena, right? Absolutely. Because they want to translate that feeling into a larger show, but it's just really, really hard to do. And I think that's the thing that Live from the Mic is able to bring to the people who are participating, right? Yeah. It's got to feel the same way for you, like as an artist too, to have that community of people and to be able to perform with them.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. We're really, really blessed. Like, it's the jam itself has been running for over 8 years. We started it at the Keystorm here in Brockville, and then after COVID hit, we moved it to another venue here in town, and then within about a year of that, we moved it to now where we're at, the open house jams, living room sessions. And it's just and that in itself is just taken on a whole other energy.
It's like its own thing.
Yeah, it really is. And it's just, and actually that's how you and I met.
Yes.
Was through the jams.
Wild.
Like, yeah.
I just showed up at her house.
No, actually at the Keystorm.
It was when it was back there. I was just home visiting from Toronto at that point.
James was still in Toronto, and he'd come home and just blew us away. Like, I was like, oh my God, who is this guy? Like, and it was just so great.
And I just remember from that very first time I was here, when it was there, it being like, this is such an incredible collection of musicians, and I was blown away by the people who were there and singing, and just, you could feel this family kind of vibe. And I was like, whatever this is, I love this.
Yeah.
I want more of this.
I want more of this. And when I moved back, I was like, where's that? Is that still happening? I'm finding that immediately.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool.
Yeah. And we just keep it going strong. It's every Wednesday night. Doors are at 7. It's open to the public. You just need to email us at livefromthemic@gmail.com. We'll give all the address information. But yeah, it's open to everybody. If you love live music, come out. If you're a jammer, come out. You know, like
Do people have to pay to come in?
No,
or no.
no. I mean, we have a donation pot, so you know it does help to keep it sustainable for us, and we also stream them online as well. So if you're not in the area or you can't make it out that night, you can hop onto YouTube, Facebook, or TikTok at Live from the Mic, and you can catch the jam
For people
on the
like
live
me.
stream.
Who don't
There
want
you
to-
go. And you can, and I mean the only place online that it doesn't stay on is TikTok, but YouTube and Facebook, even if you can't catch the actual live while it's happening, it's posted online and you can always go back and see it.
Very cool.
Yeah, it stays there. So yeah, and donations can be made online as well. We greatly appreciate them. It helps us because these musicians are showing up every week. Like our jam band shows up every week. We don't get paid. Like we do this because we know that it's a very important part of our community and the people in our community really appreciate it. And it comes back to health and wellness. We actually have a lot of elders in our community who come out to this as well.
I love that.
And they've said numerous times it's their lifeline. It's their thing that they look forward to every single week. And that gets them through their week. So, and
saves off the loneliness.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I mean, we have so many other plans. Like there's so many other things that we'd love to do down the road. You know, we've talked about buddy programs for elders to, you know, have somebody go and buddy up with an elderly and pick them up and bring them out, you know,
amazing.
bring them to the jam so that they can experience that feeling of community in person, have the live music, you know, and then bring them home.
Yeah.
And I mean, we basically already do that on some level, but we would like to be able to expand that. But again, there's funding needs and things like that we need in order to be able to expand the support in the community and be able to do these things for other
like
people.
The wholesome thing that we all need in this world.
Yeah,
It's giving me all the
absolutely.
feels.
Absolutely. Like elders and the youth, because we also want to do youth jams. We held a youth jam at the Key Storm, and it was insanely successful. We were able to raise money for Richard's Coffee House, who were putting on a meal for the less fortunate. So we were able to take money from that, put that, the money that we raised from that event, take that and put that towards the event that he was holding for the community.
Wow.
But we were also able to get a bunch of sponsors within the community who, you know, were able to donate a bunch of things so that we could do the raffle. And then the kids were basically, they would get up, they'd do their part, and then there was like a judging contest afterwards.
So cool.
And then the kids got like gift certificates for Mr. C's gift of music in town and things like that. Like it was so wonderful. And I mean, the place was packed. Like the community just really came together, came out and just really showed their support.
And that's so important because they're the future, right?
They are.
They're the
They
next
really are.
generation of musicians,
Yeah.
you know, that
Absolutely.
or artists of any kind. You
Absolutely.
know? That's awesome.
So these are all the things that we
Yeah.
want to do, and just, you know, music is just such a big part of our lives. So, just